video is going to walk you through the first part of making a two-part mold. And so what we have here is a bunch of pieces of plastic that are cut to fit this positive that I have attached to the bottom of the plastic. It's an oil-based clay. It's been secured to the bottom of the plastic. And if you look at the sides, you can see that they have a slight angle. And that's just so that the mold will pull off of the body of the clay. And anything we cast will also be released from the mold. We also have these two registration pins, and these are really just to mate up with the mold underneath. The plastic itself, make sure the edges are smooth and square. We're going to use hot glue to secure them in place, and we want to make sure it sits nice and that the joint is nice and tight. So we're going to start with one side. We want to line it up so it's about centered. So I'm just eyeballing that. And then from here, it's just a process of hot gluing. You want to make sure that the hot glue is evenly laid down along the seam, because this is going to act basically as a gasket so that the plaster, when it's poured in, won't pour out. Then we have to wait a little bit for it to set, and you don't want to rush this. And so once we have the first piece set, we'll go to the second. You can see there's little black notches on the top of the pieces of plastic. This is really just so I know which two sides are the squarest. Again, you don't want to rush it, otherwise it's going to pull loose. Just waiting a few more seconds until the glue sets up. And this first one is the hardest one because there's nothing holding it up. You could, if you wanted to, you could prop it up with something else. I'm just trimming. I've got a little bit of a glue bead that went over the corner, and I want this to be clear of any glue because that'll create sort of either I won't be able to set the second piece completely flush, or it will provide an opportunity for the plaster to leak out when it's cast. So I'm going to line this up, and so this is basically a lap joint where the one face is sitting over the edge of the side that I just put on. So there you can see the glue joint. Lighten this up. I'm going to lay a bead of hot glue here. And this process will continue. I'll do a bead along the bottom. Again, being very deliberate to get a nice thick bead that completely seals that joint. Just want to give it a chance to set. Okay. This is pretty much set up. So now I'm going to do the vertical joint. So this will continue. I'll basically add the two other walls until we have the four walls all sort of oriented in the same way, where we glue the lower joint, then we glue the edge joint, then finally we'll move to the next step, which is to pour the plaster.